It is Monday, March 7th of 2022, and OMG, is this a gorgeous day? Right on the eve, at least gorgeous day for here, on the eve of Apple's next event, and I don't know what the weather's going to be like there, and we will not talk about Cupertino weather today on Guy's Daily Drive. Bam! And welcome everyone to Guy's Daily Drive. Thank you all so very, very much for joining me today. And whether you're watching this live, and nobody is at the moment, or if you are watching a tape delay or an audio delayed program, because you can do all of those things. It doesn't bother me. I like it. I like the fact that people download and listen to this show. It's gratifying. It really is. Now, last week, Apple released a little announcement that there was going to be an Apple event on March 8th, which happens to be, whoa, nice pizza box in the middle of the road. It's going to be tomorrow. And as usual, they don't give too many details. They put out a little graphic, and it's got a title, so you can speculate all you want on what's actually going to be released. And it's called Peak Performance, is what they're calling it. Peak Performance. And there was a little Apple logo that kind of spun off into infinity, and of course they included an AR graphic to go along with it as well. So if you downloaded it to your phone and moved it around, you could see an Apple logo tunneling off into the distance, at least according to the YouTube videos, because I very, very rarely actually download the VR, whatever the little VR logo is for a particular event, because that stuff, quite honestly, doesn't really interest me that much. And I don't know, it's just like, who cares? You know, virtual reality and artificial reality so far has not really been a thing. And until Apple and some of the other companies finish coming out with these glasses, and they have content that would actually be worth going to go and look at through these glasses, right now it's one of those, oh gee whiz golly gee, boy, I bet that'll be the next 3D television, which of course is a joke, because 3D television really didn't go anywhere. It was not a big thing. So, Peak Performance, multicolored, mirror-y Apple logo. What does this all mean? Well, I kind of talked about it a bit on the My Mac podcast with Gaz yesterday, and I'll go over some of that today. Excuse me, in case you don't listen to the mymac.com podcast, which you should be doing, and there's no reason why not, since that feed goes through the Guy's Daily Drive feed as well. So you have no excuse, unless you just don't want to listen to it, which is totally your choice. So the big thing, and I'll get this out of the way right now, I think the big thing that's going to be announced is a new processor, and what they'll probably call the M2. And it won't just be announced, but there'll be some products that go along with it. I don't think that there will be an M2 powered laptop, and that is probably where I could very well be wrong, because since laptops are much more important to Apple these days than desktop machines, there very well could be a new MacBook, 16-inch MacBook Pro that would have an M2 in it. However, the MacBook Pros were updated not that long ago with the M1 Max and the M1 Pro. So would they go ahead and update them again, so quickly after just updating them? I don't know. My gut feeling is that they wouldn't, but who knows? It's kind of hard to say. But where I do think that they'll release an M2 based product is the rumored 27 or 32 inch iMac. And I think the iMac, like its 24-inch cousin, or brother, I guess, will be available in multiple colors. So a bigger iMac with an M2, and I think that will be the first M2 released product. And other than a Mac Pro, this would complete Apple's transition to the M series processors. Other than the Mac Pro, which I'm not quite sure how they're going to do that, since I don't know if you can scale M series processors like you do with Intel x86 processors, where you can just throw more processors on a board and they'll be all working in concert. I don't know if the M series are really capable of that, because so far M series processors have been more along the lines of system on a chip. So you've got your processor, multiple cores, you've got what do they call those? The other processing multi-cores that are the learning process. I can't think of what they are off the top of my head, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time trying to remember it because I'm driving. And then you got multi-processor cores for a dedicated, somewhat dedicated CPU. And the part of the reason why the chips are so damn fast is that everything is on there. Your RAM is on there, your GPU is on there, your CPU is on there. And the distance that those particular pieces have to travel to access each other is negligible. They just all kind of zoom in and zoom out, and you get better processing. So if you put two M1s or M2s or whatever onto a single board, would they be able to work in concert together? Maybe, but I don't know if it would get you the kind of speed difference that you see with x86 multiprocessing. Who knows? Maybe the M2 will resolve that particular issue, and it won't be that big of a deal. We won't find out until at least tomorrow. But I think there's going to be an M2. I think there's going to be a big iMac, the larger sized iMac that will have the M2. I think that the Mac Mini is going to come out with a new design. It's going to be relatively the same shape. I mean, there's been lots of mock-ups on what it might look like. And additional USB-C Thunderbolt ports and USB-A ports is desperately needed for that machine. And I think that the Mac Mini will also, its processor will be upgraded to M1 Max or M1 Pro, or available as both. I think that's the next logical step for the Mac Mini. They keep hearing rumors about an iPad. I don't know if there's going to be a new iPad. I think this will be mostly Mac related, this whole event, but I do think that there will be a new iPhone SE that will have 5G, because there's no point in not having 5G in a new phone these days. And I think maybe it will also have USB-C instead of Lightning for connectivity. So I think those are like, my voice is going way up. I think those are like going to be the highlights, and I don't know what else they might do. You know, it's hard to say with some of these Apple events. They have a tendency to have a big announcement, and then a littler announcement, and then another big announcement, and then a smaller announcement, so that you're not getting like all of these things right in a row. And no, I don't think there will be one more thing. I don't think Tim Cook wants to do that, and I can see why. That was a Steve Jobs thing. So to recap, M2 processor, new bigger iMac, new designed Mac Mini with a new processor, not the M2. iPhone SE with 5G and USB-C for connectivity. And I think those are going to be like the big announcements for tomorrow. And we'll see. We'll see how right or wrong I am. I'm sure I've gotten some things wrong, possibly all things wrong. You know, that some of the rumors also were talking about a new monitor. I don't really see the point of Apple releasing a new monitor until they're ready to put out a new Mac Pro. So you're going to buy an expensive Apple monitor for a Mac Mini or as an addition to an iMac? Probably not. But you might buy a couple of them for a Mac Pro. But I think that is going to do it for me for today. Thank you all so very, very much for joining me today here on Guy's Daily Drive. It is so great to talk to all of you. And I may do a follow-up to this Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what's announced, and also to talk about what happened. I don't have time to do it now. What happened this weekend going down to Richmond to see Guy Jr. and his girlfriend Ashley. A good time was had by all, but there was some really, really cool stuff that happened while we were down there. And they set up, the two of them set up everything. But I'll talk about that in a follow-up, hopefully, if I remember, Guy's Daily Drive in a day or two. So if you want to get a hold of me, it's so very easy to do. All you have to do is send an email to guy@mymac.com or podcast@vertshark.com. You can reach me on the Twitters. I am both MacPettit and VertShark. Over there, I'm just going to go over there on the Twitters. I'm good. And you can go over to vertshark.com, the website, and get all the odds and all the vids as I post them up over there. I just got up last Friday's Guy's Daily Drive and the latest Guy's Daily Drive version of the MyMac podcast. Those are both up right now. You can go on over to youtube.com. Look up VertShark, that is the name of the channel. And then like, share, subscribe. You just see all that, like, share, subscribe to the VertShark channel, and you will get updates on whenever new stuffs show up there in YouTube. Don't forget, I also do the MyMac podcast with Gaz. We just had our 601st episode. And we're coming up on mymac.com podcast 900. Coming up, I guess in about 3 months. So we're talking March, April, May, probably in June will be the 900th episode of the mymac.com podcast. And I need to talk to Tim and some of the other former hosts to see if we can get them all to come on for the 900th show. 900 of these shows, going all the way back to, I think, 2004, 2005, a long time ago. And that's going to do it for today. Thank you all again so very, very much for joining me. And I will see, oh, hold on, got to park the car. I will see all of you next time right here on Guy's Daily Drive. Bye-bye.